Nikkei Asia News Roundup
with Jada and Brian. Welcome to the Nikkei Asia News Roundup with your hosts Jada and Brian,
bringing you the latest updates and insights on the dynamic world of Asia and more.
Now let's delve into the headlines. This program is brought to you by Nikkei.
South Korea's electric vehicle market has rebounded from a dip in 2023, with sales climbing 42% in the first half of this year as leader Hyundai Motor Group started rolling out a wave of new models.
The largest onshore wind farm in Southeast Asia, the 600 megawatt monsoon wind power project with a total investment of $950 million, has begun commercial operation in southeastern Laos.
Acquisitions of Japanese properties by foreign investors climbed to a first-half record in 2025, with other big sales in the works as analysts expect rents to keep rising amid continuing inflation.
Taiwanese lenders in Hong Kong are expanding to seize opportunities amid rising geopolitical tensions, even as rivals scale back operations on economic and property market woes.
With its acquisition of exclusive Japanese broadcast rights to the World Baseball Classic in March, Netflix aims to make the sport more accessible to younger fans through streaming. Co-CEO Greg Peters tells Nikkei.
South Korean biopharmaceutical company Samsung Biologics plans to focus exclusively on its contract drug manufacturing business, with 3 new factories to be built by 2032. Now moving on to the next segment.
China's Roomba killers sweep up in vacuum market despite U.S. tariffs. Chinese companies are tightening their grip on the global robotic vacuum cleaner market as cutthroat domestic competition intensifies and the Chinese manufacturers continue to expand overseas despite higher U.S. tariffs. In the first quarter of this year, the world's top 4 consumer smart vacuum companies were all from China, overtaking American pioneer iRobot, known for its Roomba brand, according to International Data Corp, a U.S. market research specialist. The global smart vacuum market shipped just over 5 million units in the first quarter, up 11.9% from a year earlier, IDC's quarterly smart home device tracker revealed. Washington's levies on some Chinese imports have eased to a minimum of 30% from over 100% earlier this year, with further talks pending under an extended truce through November 10th. A senior analyst at IDC noted that in addition to leveraging a low-cost domestic supply chain, Chinese robotic vacuum makers are expanding their overseas presence by partnering with local influencers for marketing, strengthening ties with local distributors, and securing shelf space with major U.S. retailers such as Amazon and Walmart. Adding to the pressure in China's crowded market is a state-driven push to promote high-tech industries. Drone maker DJI entered the robotic vacuum segment this month, unveiling its high-end Romo series. Meanwhile, iRobot posted a 23% year-on-year drop in its second quarter revenue and warned that it may default on its debt later this month.
Part bike, part truck, Honda quadricycle to take on New York City traffic. Honda Motor is set to roll out a new ultralight vehicle designed for last-mile logistics in urban areas, with no driver's license necessary. Debuting first in the U.S. and Europe, the Fastport E-Quad quadricycle targets an area of mobility somewhere between cars and two-wheelers, while presenting an opportunity for Honda to test drive a new business model. The pedal-powered four-wheeled vehicle has an electric assist. Honda expects applications in densely populated cities where traffic is often a problem. This is a type of mobility best suited to deliveries of food, packages, and other items, said Hirokazu Hara, Vice President of New Business Development at American Honda Motor. We are looking at urban centers like New York City and Los Angeles as markets, he said. The E-Quad comes in two sizes. A prototype of the larger size can carry a full load for up to 37 kilometers and has a maximum speed of 20 kilometers per hour. The vehicles will be built at an Ohio plant that specializes in small batch production. With a team of engineers experienced in building fuel cell vehicles and race cars, it is said to be a good fit for this specialized assembly work. Honda may expand local production as needed, based on orders.
And now for news highlights. In this episode, Jada and I have a discussion about a recent article that has particularly captured our attention.
And today we'd like to talk about how East Asia is trying to tackle the heat, excruciating heat.
Now, I've lived in Tokyo for a while, and it's no surprise that summer is hot.
Yeah.
Summers in Tokyo and in Japan in general are notorious for it.
Yeah.
But this summer broke records.
Yes.
Last summer broke records.
Yeah.
The summer before that broke records.
Yeah.
But it's not just Japan. It's not just
No,
Tokyo. It's also
no.
South Korea. It's China, most of Asia. And the problem is this is starting to affect the economy, namely workers, their health, their economic productivity, all of that.
Yeah. So this story, it's actually a very visual story on our website. But as you mentioned, it's basically talking to workers, some of them construction workers in Japan who have to work outside for hours and under the heat, record scorching heat, and how they're trying to tackle it, how governments are trying to come up with policies. And one person in the story says this has to be taken as seriously as like COVID-19. We have to be on top of it. We have to tackle it, approach it like for Japan, how Japan approaches earthquake risks. So it's very serious. And there's a lot of graphs in there, some numbers in there to tell you how serious it is, or really.
Yeah, there's numbers here. It feels a little cold, no pun intended, to put it in numbers. But worldwide, due to extreme heat in 2023, which is the last year they have definitive stats on, there were 512 billion potential working hours lost due to heat. And 9%, or a little over 9% of that is accounted for in Japan, China, and South Korea, which is a significant number just for three countries.
Yes. And also for lost income as well.
That means lost income. That means lost productivity.
Yeah.
And the question is, how do you fix that? How do you're talking about how companies and laws have to enforce people not getting heat stroke or being overwhelmed by the heat.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not just heat stroke, right? Because it causes kidney and heart disease and also mental health problems.
And some of the measures they're trying to get is mandatory breaks every 2 hours, something like that. Having a buddy system.
Yeah. And what was it? Heat allowance?
A heat allowance. Designated cool zones where they can go take breaks. And it's still very much undecided on what some of these procedures will be, but it's something that needs to be tackled because who knows what next summer will bring. It's not like things are trending downward, but on a more fun note, they mentioned also fan jackets.
If you're living in Japan or at least Tokyo, you see that a lot.
I saw them on my way to the train station today. I saw 3 of them. And for people who don't know, these are lightweight jackets. They kind of look like windbreakers, but they have little fans on the sides of them. And so people are walking around in the scorching heat, looking like they're wearing ski parkas, but it's air blowing. And so, And so I'm wondering how helpful that is, because that's one of the other problems, is because a lot of this heat is humid.
Yeah, especially, I'm sure other countries too, but yeah, in Japan, humidity is also a serious issue.
And that's one of the issues called the wet bulb effect, where basically it's so warm and humid that a breeze doesn't really do much to cool you down. And that's also another cause for heat stroke and other complications.
Yeah. In Japan, the story talks a lot about, it focuses on construction workers because they're outside, but in China there's also delivery workers, right, who have to deliver more stuff because people are not going outside because of the heat. But they have to be delivering stuff. So
on a side note, I was watching an advertisement came up, and it was for a delivery service here in Japan, And the gimmick was that the family didn't want to go outside because it was too hot, so let's order in. And my first thought was, those poor drivers.
Yeah.
And this article says those poor drivers, because they have to work out in the heat, sometimes delivering ice cream to people who don't want to go out in the heat. Yeah. And the compensation's not that much.
No, unfortunately. And for Taiwan, I thought it was interesting because I'd never heard of that, but they're trying to categorize extreme heat or temperature as natural disasters and therefore create something called heat holidays. So this will allow schools and businesses, or certain businesses in certain sectors, to have their employees take a day off because of the excruciating heat.
And there's all these things that individuals can do and companies can do and governments do, but there is a general trend that needs to be addressed. And there's some good quotes at the end about this.
Yes. I liked one that said, what remains insufficient are measures that fundamentally mitigate the urban heat island effect. So this is like integrating he lists integrating building energy efficient retrofits, improving pavement in heat vulnerable areas. I've seen in Dubai that their pavements are like
it's lighter in color.
Yeah, lighter in color, and they have it wet or submerged in water at some.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I've seen some streets in Tokyo that are silvery in color.
Yeah.
That was something a while ago. I don't know if they're still doing it, but I wonder if that made a difference.
Yeah, but it seems like infrastructure is a key issue, and that may help in the future as analysts and experts predict that temperatures will continue to increase because of climate change partly.
That's one of the questions. How can we financially incentivize that?
And that brings us to the close of today's episode.
We look forward to having you join up again for the next edition of the Nikkei Asia News Roundup.
Stay informed, stay curious. Until next time, I'm Jada.
And I'm Brian. See you again, and take care. This program is brought to you by Nikkei.